Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling something I know drives absolutely everyone crazy. Those pesky digital chores that suddenly become massive roadblocks. You know exactly the ones I'm talking about. The tasks suddenly blocked by paywalls, intrusive ads, and sketchy privacy policies. We are breaking down a platform called Everyday Tools, which aims to be a complete, privacy-first digital Swiss Army knife right inside your browser.
I mean, we've all been there, right? How many times have you been totally forced to create an account just to merge a single PDF? You're just trying to quickly combine two documents or maybe compress a file, and bam, suddenly you're staring down a mandatory sign-up page or a surprise subscription fee. Today, we're going to look at a platform that promises to solve this frustration completely. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with a privacy-first browser solution, then dive into flawless PDF and Word tools, look at simple WhatsApp bill splitting, tackle HRA receipts and calculators, and finally wrap up with cross-tool workflows and a little bit of fun. All right, part one, the privacy-first browser solution. So the absolute secret sauce of Everyday Tools is this paradigm shift called in-browser processing. Now, what that actually means is that zero uploads happen, none. The processing is done entirely locally by your own machine. And that's huge because it translates to total, absolute data privacy for you, since your files literally never touch their servers. Think about your standard web tools for a second. They're constantly demanding money, forcing signups, or just blocking your workflow with terrible pop-up ads. Everyday Tools kind of flips that whole script. They offer a free, local, anonymous experience. No cash required, no signups, and definitely no ads getting in your way. It literally just runs right there in your browser. Moving right along to section 2, flawless PDF and Word tools. Your data is your business. Honestly, keep that exact mindset whenever you're handling sensitive documents. Just think about the stuff we convert and merge on a daily basis. Highly personal tax forms, legal lease agreements, our resumes. You really shouldn't have to beam all of that up to some random, unknown server just to get the right file format. So how exactly do they handle it? Well, Everyday Tools lets you merge multiple PDFs, split massive files to pull just the exact pages you need, and, this is crazy, actually edit a rent or lease agreement PDF without having to rebuild the whole thing from scratch. They've also got this incredibly powerful compressor that's an absolute lifesaver when you're fighting those insanely tiny file size limits on government upload portals. And remember, all of this happens with zero uploads. If you're job hunting or just working as a professional, the workflow is beautifully seamless. You just upload your docx file, like your master resume, bring it right into the tool, check the live preview to make sure none of your formatting broke, and then export a flawless PDF that's ready to go. The entire Word to PDF process is handled locally, it's totally free, and it is lightning fast. Okay, section 3, simple WhatsApp bill splitting. Let's pivot away from document chores to something a bit more social, but honestly sometimes equally stressful, managing the math of group expenses. Whether you're dividing rent with flatmates, figuring out an office lunch, managing a massive family vacation, or calculating a college trip in Indian rupees, their free split calculator handles all of it. And the best part? You don't have to force your friends to reluctantly download some specific finance app just to figure out who owes who for brunch. Now, the really crucial part is what happens after the math is done. Because let's face it, nobody likes awkwardly asking for money. Once the trip or dinner expenses are calculated, Everyday Tools lets you share the final settlement with everyone in a single tap. You can shoot it directly over WhatsApp, send an email, or just copy and paste the breakdown. It completely removes the friction from actually getting paid back. Next up, section 4, HRA receipts and calculators. When tax season rolls around, especially if you need house rent allowance documentation, this is a massive time saver. You can effortlessly plug in your rent details, digitally add your landlord's signature, and instantly generate a perfectly standard HRA PDF receipt. And because of that in-browser processing we talked about earlier, your personal housing data and financial info stay totally offline and secure. Beyond just rent, there are some surprisingly niche but highly useful calculators built into the suite. You've got a home loan and mortgage EMI calculator to map out prepayments and schedules. Then there are these really handy date calculators, perfect for figuring out your exact age in days, or pinning down your exact last working day if you've got a standard 30, 60, or 90-day notice period. It really takes the guesswork out of those big life transitions. And finally, section 5, cross-tool workflows and fun. You can actually map out a complete end-to-end workflow using just this platform. Say you're planning a weekend getaway.
You start with the outing planner tool to lock in the initial idea and itinerary. You go on the trip, have a blast, and then wrap things up with a fair share tool to handle all the final expense settlements. It's this really cohesive ecosystem where you don't have to bounce between 5 different websites.
But hey, it's not all just spreadsheets and PDFs. For a little team bonding, you can instantly spin up an online multiplayer bingo room. Again, no app required whatsoever. They've got these incredibly relatable, fun modes like Fun Friday for the office, Remote Team Bingo for hybrid crews, College Campus Bingo, and even IT Buzzword Bingo for the tech and startup crowds. It's just instant, frictionless fun.
Before we wrap up, I do have to point out how the suite handles those tiny, totally irritating micro chores that always seem to disrupt your day. There is a quick paste tool for pasting lists line by line into stubborn online forms, and an ID photo maker that lets you instantly crop perfectly sized photos for passports, visas, or licenses. It's exactly the kind of everyday utility that totally justifies the platform's name. So, as we bring this explainer to a close, just consider how much time, money, and personal data you can save by bringing all your everyday utilities safely back into your own browser. No signups, no tracking, no uploads, just pure functional utility. With your files, in your browser, under your rules. What digital chore are you going to crush first today?